my next guest will face Mickey Gall on July the 24th at UFC Vegas 32. And of course, it is Jordan Williams back on the show. Jordan, how are you?
I'm good, brother. Thanks for having me back on today.
Yeah, it's good to see you again. We're about 3 weeks away from big fight night here, and you're going down to 170, back down to welterweight for this one. What went behind the decision to drop back down to 170?
Basically, my coaches told me I'm too small of a punk to fight at that weight class at the big dogs, man. I mean, you see me, I weigh a little light. I walk around at like 182, 180. So I think it's it's better to stay around people my own size now that I have the resources to help me make 170.
Yeah, no doubt. And we did talk a little bit here before we went live. The last time you did fight at welterweight was back in 2016 against Dwight Grant. So it's been quite some time. How is your body, I guess, adjusting to kind of tailoring down a little bit?
It's adjusting well, you know. I walk around before. Okay, so when I was fighting at 170 before, I would cut from about like 200 to like 205. Like it was hard for me to manage my weight because I ate every meal like it was my last meal. And now when I went up to 185, I was actually calmer with my eating habits, and I weighed less fighting at 185 than I did at 170. So I just kind of transferred over those eating habits and like the discipline, and that's what's really helping me keep 170 and reach. And Dwight Grant, if you're listening, let me get my face back. Let me knock your ass out, please, one time, just once.
Yeah, that would make sense. You want to get that one back because obviously that didn't go in your favor. How would a rematch with Dwight Grant go?
Oh man, if I'm asking for it, where my mindset at. I like under my new coach and my new instruction and the fucking badass training we do every day, man. I'm ready. I'm ready to take on anyone, let alone Dwight Grant.
Yeah, let's talk about that. So Factory X, that's the new home. What was the, I guess, decision making behind that process to go out to Denver, Colorado here and train at, at one of the best gyms in the world? It couldn't have been that hard of a decision to go there.
Yeah, honestly, well, first off, thank you, Coach Mark, and the whole team at Factory X for accepting me as a new member of their squad. But the thought process was, and shout out to my old coach, Dave Terrell, and the old establishment that got me into the UFC. I couldn't have done it without my big brother, Dave Terrell. But really what it came down to is I had on a good week or a good day, rather, two sparring partners or two training partners. My man, Dominic Waters, who was a veteran UFC fighter, and my boy, Adam Wamsley. So like, and he before I left, he was like 3-1 or 2-1. So one partner was fresh into the pro game, and the other partner was far away. He'd sometimes be able to show up, and so it just really the looks that I was getting wasn't enough, in the sense that even if on our best days, it's two partners. When I go to Factory X, I have like 10, 15 other UFC fighters, let alone LFA, Bellator, and every organization in between that's pushing me. And it's just I like the structure here. It's very structured. Everything is built. Everything is meant to be, and we don't wing any practices. Every practice is designed and catered. So it was easy to, and my manager. We sat down. I had to talk with my manager after my last fight. I lost, and I had to do some like some soul searching and be like, how do I get better, and where do I go to do so?
Yeah. So how long have you been at Factory X now? And I think it's probably safe to say that in the time that you've been there, you've grown a lot as a mixed martial artist.
It's funny you say that. Well, to answer the first question, December 13th was the rolling in day in Colorado. That's the first day that I got to experience this elevation for the first time. And the oh shit, I forgot the second question again. The second part. What am I asking?
Just, I'm sure you're a lot better now, just being there, getting that work with all the great teammates that you have and the coaches.
See, that's my humbleness. coming in and just like kind of like pushing me back to the side. You know, it's going well. Like, it's funny you say that because Coach Mark, he put, like, I had a private with him this morning, and right away in the beginning of the practice, before he had any critique and building advice for me to go on with this private, he said, "Man," oh, he's like this. He's like, "Man, you come a long way." And so, like, you know, and so hearing that from that caliber of a coach really, really means something.
So how are you adjusting to the elevation there, the altitude? Because it is quite different from everything that I hear.
I mean, the altitude is one thing, and it did take me, I'd say, 2 months, like a month before, like, I felt like I could carry the elevation backpack, and then it took another month after that before I felt like I was on par with the elevation change. So it was like a 2 month change. That's how long it took me to really feel comfortable with my performance in practice. But man, I tell you, those first couple of weeks, I was hitting my second wind like 20, 30 minutes in the practice. So, you know, the elevation is definitely, I'm excited. I'm excited to see what, just in the sense of the elevation factor, it has to do to my game.
So you mentioned all of the fantastic training partners that you have at your disposal. Who are the main guys, I guess, that you're getting the most of your work in with, sparring and just drilling on a day-to-day basis?
My drilling day-to-day basis is Harris. He's currently fighting for LFA, and he just won the second fight for LFA. I think he's 3-0 now, but he's looking pretty promising, and we match well together when we train. Another training partner that I need to get more work in, but he's also impressed my eye, is Jacoby Jones, and I'm actually taking him as my corner as a cornerman to help me be trained ready, and his wrestling knowledge is just supreme. He's like a collegiate All-American, and again, he's coming off a 2-fight win streak in his pro career, and I really think going against someone like Mickey Gall, having someone with that ground awareness is what I need. That wrestling awareness is what's put me in. Now, sparring partners, coach has been really smart. Puts me against Cody Brundage. You know, he's got a big announcement coming up soon. I'm not going to steal his thunder, but I'm super excited for him. Josh Frem, he is another big training partner that has been helping me get ready, and he's a big body. He's like a long and tall 185er. He towers over me by like 2-3 inches. So getting past his range and reach has really been a help for this training camp. Those are two top. Let's see, the other person, Dustin Jacoby. He's making a second run in the UFC, a very successful one so far, and I see nothing but success for him coming up. He's facing I think Darren Stewart. That's gonna be a banger. And I'm really grateful for the rounds that he did, because no one really knows about his wrestling skills, you know, because they just see that he was a glory fighter and all that clout that comes with it. But Dustin Jacoby is a great wrestler, and don't let that be forgotten. So those are like my main sparring partners right now. Oh, Austin. Okay, Austin Osmosis Jones. That guy was one of the best gas tanks I've ever fought against or sparred against, and he has been humbling me a lot. So shout out to all my training partners that's getting the job done.
Yeah, I've interviewed almost every single one of those partners that you mentioned, man, and they're all a bunch of killers. So you're at the right place. I wanted to ask you too, just as far as living now in Denver, Colorado, like how do you like the adjustment? It's a beautiful town. I've been there, once before, and I've heard nothing but great things about it from the people that live there. How are you adjusting to, I guess, your new home now?
It's an easy adjustment, man. So Colorado, specifically Denver, Colorado, is so underrated. I mean, come on, we all know me. the weed here is good. It's great. For the dollar you pay, I'm down. I'm down with that. Also, the elevation is, something I love, and I just love having that chip in my back pocket, or that card in my back pocket. But man, like I found my girlfriend out here. She lives in Portland. I know. Don't even go there with me. But she's really awesome, and I found her out here. But so any guys, this doesn't apply to me anymore because, like I said, I have a girlfriend. But the ratio for guys to girls out here in Colorado, Denver, Colorado, like I said, to be specific, is 5-1. So like five girls to one guy. So not only are these women like respecting you for the face value that you already have, they're not like, oh, I can like go trade in this guy and go find another one. There's no other guys to find, so they're giving you your face value, and they treat you like the quality that you have. So I would say to anyone who's single, any guy out here single, keep Denver an option.
Okay, well, I think you just sold Denver pretty darn well to a lot of single guys out there that are watching this. I do want to ask you too, man. I watched an interview with you fairly recently, and you told John Hyung Ko that you had a broken neck in your Dana White Contender Series fight. Like, that just blew my mind. How difficult was that for you to train and to just live, or did you just kind of adjust to having it like that, and you didn't really know that it was bothering you that bad?
Yeah, no, I didn't even know, and I went into 2 fights with a broken neck, and I didn't even know. Like, when your neck is stiff and you're dealing with like neck pains, like you're taught to just like as a fighter just deal with it. And so I really didn't know that I had a broken neck during those fights. So I mean, if I knew it was broken, I probably still would have fought. I was like, because it wasn't affecting me that bad. But yeah, there was a after so I had 2 breaks in my orbital bone and 2 breaks in my nose bone or my nasal bone, and that's what ordered the CT scan when I was in Abu Dhabi, because it was visual. They could see that my face is messed up. Like, hey, we're gonna do a CAT scan. And sorry for the sweat. I know y'all can see I'm sweating. It's hot. It's also, hey, to continue that sale on Denver. The weather's here is nice. It's not just all snow and everything. So back to the broken neck. I had no idea that it was broken to begin with. So yeah, I fought through that, and the doctors were saying that if there was a good break, I had it. It was on the outside. I was on the outer lining of my C3, so like not near the spinal cord. So that's probably the reason why I didn't feel any or too much slowing down in my neck. So yeah, that's basically the wrap on that.
Are you feeling as fully healthy as you can be right now at this point during camp?
You know what? I feel healthy. You know what? Yes, I feel like I'm as healthy as I can get because I just went down to Guatemala, had some stem cell therapy from the Stem Cell Healing Institute, run by Dr. Zara Figueiredo, and she did a platelet lysis injection in my neck and both my shoulders. So I'm not gonna tell you which shoulder's messed up because she did both of them. And it's been like, that's been such a help to me in my health in general. To my neck, that's honestly been the only thing that's made my neck feel better.
How long were you in Guatemala for? And was that just a business trip just to get your body healthy, or did you have some downtime where you did some personal things as well?
I don't know. That was all work. Like I'm in training camp, so that I was down there. I got into Guatemala Friday morning. Roughly, I got through customs at 2 a.m. And then I left Guatemala Sunday morning around 11, or my flight, I got to the airport around 10. My flight was at 11:30. So very short, quick, very therapeutic. All work, no play. Coach Mark ain't let you play during camp anyway. And I super thank him. He's a very smart coach. He knew that me getting a $25,000 stem cell treatment for free is going to do nothing but help our training camp. So it was all work, no play. I mean, I did go to Antigua, and I did actually experience a town that on one of the nights that her husband is from. So we and all the whole family went and visited Antigua, and that was the only play that we had. But we just went out for dinner, and it was very therapeutic. Like, I was getting I was in an Airbnb. This is all paid for by Dr. Zara, and I can't thank her enough. So I was in an Airbnb, a couple of like 2-bedroom. She ordered a chiropractor, and he would come up to my room twice a day to adjust me. And then also, but for work, and then I did oxygen therapy. I did 2 half-hour workouts on the bike for oxygen therapy each day to re-energize the muscles and replenish them with oxygen. And then Friday, we did a 2-hour IV drip of B12 vitamin, or a lot of B vitamins, B12 like to help detox, and then she also threw in some magnesium and some minerals that's going to help carry the effects of the stem cells. And then right after that 2-hour therapy, we went right into a half-hour drip of the actual stem cells that were harvested from female donors and that are in the middle of their menstrual cycle. I'm not messing this up. That's when they do it. So these women are in their menstrual cycle, and they harvest the stem cells from their uterus lining, and those stem cells have the same properties, but like super condensed of bone marrow stem cells and embryonic stem cells. Because the woman's in that state of her menstrual cycle. So those are the stem cells that are currently helping with the diabetes.
Gotcha. Wow, man. See, you've been really doing a lot. You've been racking up them frequent flyer miles too, because in October of last year, you were down in Abu Dhabi, and unfortunately that result didn't go your way against Imovov. But, just tell me about that experience, man, what you learned from that fight and what the whole vibe was like over at Fight Island.
It was just, if I could put it into words, a realization of where I'm at. Like I'm getting paid to fly across the world to be in Abu Dhabi and flying on a first-class jumbo jet, and to just realize that the quality of my life is within reach of being a lot better. So and that proves so. Like, I lost that fight, but like Dr. Zahara, she saw that fight, she saw my post from the results of that fight, and she just wanted to help me. So like, even though I lost that fight, it's really nothing but a win for me in the terms of how I'm benefiting from it. Like, because like I said, stem cell therapy has been gained from that. A realization where I'm at, that I'm at the highest level now. Like, when you're first starting your career, you tell yourself like, hey, I want to fight at the highest level. And then when you get to the highest level, it's hard to like look back and realize you're there. So with that loss, it definitely opened my eyes, humbled me, and made me just realize I need to work harder and smarter. When I go into a fight, I feel like that you need to be instinctual, but also you need to be present. You need to be there. I thought I was present and I was there in my fights prior, because when I had a fight, it would be like, my first pro fight, I fought. I knocked the guy out in the 3rd round, But right when I stepped into the cage, I looked at my coach and I was like, "What happened?" And they're like, what the hell just happened for 3 rounds? And now I can tell you, I can play back like how I felt during every second of the Gregory Rodriguez fight. I can like remember thinking like, oh, I should throw a kick to the body, throw a kick to the body. Oh, I land. Okay, now maybe I should do this. And I did it. So it's that last fight, I'm more complacent, and I learned that I need to be more complacent and more mentally in the moment.
Gotcha. Well, it sounds like you're in a really great place leading up to this fight with Mickey Gall, man. When you look at his skill set, he's known for his, his grappling and on the ground. Like, what do you like about this fight specifically for you to get your hand raised?
I like the fact that, I mean, he's a ground fighter. Yes, I like that. But he's known for his ground fighter. I feel like any fighter in the UFC, you have to have striking, you have to have wrestling, you have to have jiu-jitsu. Muay Thai and clinch work, that's only the higher ups are able to mentally throw that in and use like the spinning elbows and the knees like effectively. So I like this fight because I'm better on the ground. I grew up wrestling. I haven't been able to show that really that much in my last couple of fights because they're at fucking 185. Like, imagine me trying to wrestle Paulo Costa. He's probably cutting down from 220 to 215. He's probably 215 when he steps inside that octagon. It's probably 215. So my whole game plan when I was a small body weighing 182 wet was just to kind of weather the wrestling. So the fact that he is a ground fighter and now I'm at a weight where I can use, I started wrestling. I've been wrestling since the second grade. I've been wrestling for about 15 years longer than I started boxing. And my last fights have only been me boxing. So I'm actually at a place, I like that I'm at 170, that I can use my wrestling and my groundwork against someone who favors the ground. Now, also, to carry the weight of that answer, he is just now feeling confident in his striking. When we break down his last fights and we watch him, man, this fool's a cookie cutter boxer. He's like Logan Paul, right? You see all these videos on Instagram of Logan Paul looking really good punching air when he's shadow boxing. But when he gets in the fucking in the boxing ring, he's like I don't need to say more about how he performs. He's swinging that air and there's a body right in front of him, or he's like freaking throwing his punches from his hands at the holster. So I feel like Mickey Gall, he's a cookie cutter boxer. He looks good. Like when he's fighting, he's at a higher level than Logan Paul. He keeps like this hand's here when he's throwing his jab or his cross. I respect that, but he doesn't have the knowledge to make it land. I feel like when I watched his last fight against Mike Perry pieced him up. And you can send this video to Mike Perry. Mike Perry, man, I'm sorry, man, but you kind of like a step up fighter. You like a build up, like and he lost to Diego Sanchez. Like he got beat by people who are like the step up fighters. Like in my mind, I feel like Mike Perry has a name, but he's a name that you're supposed to beat, right? Like, so send this to him. Send Mike Perry. I hope you're listening. Well, that's what I think of you. And so my man, the guy I'm fighting is losing fights like that. So the way I like this matchup, if I come in there mentally correct and mentally confident, like I feel now in this interview, like it's gonna be nothing but smoke and fireworks that's gonna be hitting Mickey Gall's face. So that, I mean, I love this matchup all around.
How does this fight end? I'm assuming you believe you're going to get him out of there, but does it happen in the first round, second? What do you think?
I either finish him in the first, because I really don't think he's been hit as hard as I can hit. People don't realize how heavy and hard my hands are. And I feel like I daze him or finish him in the first. The finish comes in the second. And I would like it to be in the second because I need the money. I need that 50K bonus for the fight of the night, and I need that 50K bonus for performance of the night fight, you know. And I don't mind sharing an extra 50 grand with Mickey Gall if he makes it to the second round.
Okay, man. Fair enough. I can't wait for this fight. I'm excited for everything that's going on for you now in Denver, Colorado at Factory X. This move to welterweight. I think you're making all the right moves, my man. Again, July 24th, UFC Vegas 32. Jordan Williams meets Mickey Gall. Always a pleasure to talk to you, buddy. Before I let you go, I want to give you the floor. Tell people where to follow you on social media, and if you have anyone to thank, the floor is yours.
All right, Brian. Thank you for that. So, my man. So, follow me, Boomier MMA. That's Instagram. Jordan Williams, yours truly. You'll see this pretty face on Facebook. Twitter, man. That's the one you'll see, and everyone tells me to get more active on. JWill_ NCFA, but that's gonna have to change after this interview. Right now, after this interview, I'm gonna change my Twitter to JWill_ Factory X. Gotta show love to my team, my new team that's raising me right now. Also, huge shout out. The first shout out I have to give out to is Dr. Zara Figueroa. Thank you. Thank you so much for just complimenting this growth and new move to Colorado with the stem cell therapy you gave me and all the connections with Ian, our chiropractor, who's also sponsoring me. Thank you. I can't thank you enough for how my shoulders, neck, and how I feel with my diabetes. Which, by the way, in the last 2 weeks, my 30-day average for my blood sugar scores were at 208, and now my scores are at 175. So that's down over 30 points which is huge for me, and that's gonna be a big thing during this fight. Thank you, doctor. Also, Dr. Craig Perlman, my man, who's been sending me free insulin, top of the line insulin now, even as a UFC fighter with 2 other jobs I can't afford without his help. I really have to thank you, Craig, my man. Thank you. Also, just Factory X in general. I have to thank my new team and the new confidence that they've been giving me. Coach Mark, I love you, big brother, or coach. I can't thank him enough for just taking me under his wing and letting me fly under it. Rhythm Sports Agency, my dog Jay House, Jeremy, Ed Camp, my man Jacob, Mike, and Bucky. All you guys, I love you all so much. Thank you so much for just helping me get to this fight camp and leading me to this fight camp. Everyone in my life right now that I keep involved in it has been nothing but a positive.